Thank God. Well, hello there. A while back I made a video about my journey of finding the best Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. I bought 8 pairs, and if you haven't checked it out, you can click here. In that video, I did in fact find my choice pair of Bluetooth noise canceling headphones, and those so happen to be the Sony XM5s in white. Now, I've thoroughly enjoyed those headphones for the last few months, and I've already taken them on a flight, and they performed beautifully. Then, thanks to you beautiful souls out there, and for all of you who are liking, subscribing, and leaving comments, I truly appreciate it. A couple of you mentioned that Bose had a new Quiet Comfort Ultra headphone come out, and I almost threw up in my hands. In that last video that I made, I did buy a pair of QC 45s, and I didn't even put them on. And the reason why is because I was always told they were the most comfortable Bluetooth headphones, or headphones in general, that you could put on your head. Back then, and still today, I thought the XM5s were the best in terms of comfort. So the last thing I wanted to do was try on the Quiet Comfort 45s, only to be like, damn, these are more comfortable, but I knew they weren't gonna sound as good. Well, because I spent all that time buying all those headphones, testing them out, making a video, I was like, you know what? I have to try them. I have to see that these Quiet Comfort Ultras fix all the problems that I was reading about with sound quality, bass, transparency, and just overall making sure that I have the best headphones I can get for my money, and I'm not gonna keep obsessing over it like a psychopath. So I picked up a pair of the QC Ultras myself to try out, and I'm here to tell you that I like the XM5s a lot better. Now, in that last video, I did get a pair of the NC 700 Bose, which were like their flagship Bluetooth headphones, and the design was cool, but they weren't super comfortable for me, and also the sound quality in general was way lacking compared to the Sony XM4N5, the Momentum 4s, the AirPod Max, the Bauer & Wilkins. They were just not that great. Well, I can tell you this much. The QC Ultra, when I first turned them on and hooked them up and listened to some music, they actually sound really damn good out of the box. Now, off the bat, once again, I am not an audiophile. What I can tell you is I've been installing car stereos since I was in high school. I've been in a band and recorded multiple albums. So I do know what I like when it comes to sound. The bass on the QC Ultras are actually really damn good. That said, they won't rumble your head and give you that physical bass feeling like the Sennheiser Momentum 4s, the Sony XM4N5s, and the AirPod Max. But they do sound awesome. Next up, the noise canceling. The noise canceling is incredible. I'd honestly put it on par with the XM5s, with the AirPod Max. I'd say they're top tier out of all the ones that I've tested, and that was really surprising. Something else that kicks ass on these is the transparency mode. Transparency mode is awesome. I'd also put it on par with the XM5s. They're still not the AirPod Max territory, but nothing is. So overall, those are things I liked about them. Now there's some things I didn't like about them. When I first put them on, I was actually kind of shocked because if these are just like the Quiet Comfort 45s, to me, they're not that comfortable. Now, they're not uncomfortable, but in general, the clamping force is a little strong on my head, and the ear pads aren't super soft, so you always know they're there. I was able to wear them for a couple hours on end without any problems at all. It's just, they didn't have a plush feeling. When I put on the Sony XM5s, they feel really, really nice around my ears, even though my ears touch the drivers on the inside, but those are padded. The ears are a lot deeper on the QC Ultras, and the drivers are at an angle, but even with all that, the tips of my ears still touched. Having just the tips of my ears touch was almost more annoying to me than the XM5s where a lot of my ear touches. I think maybe it has to do with the uniformity of what my ear is feeling. I don't know. All I know is in terms of comfort for me, they were nowhere near as good as the XM5s, hands down. So in terms of noise canceling, there's a couple different options. You have full noise canceling, which is called Quiet in the Bose app. You have Aware, which is the transparency mode. And then you have Immersion. And Immersion is supposed to, I guess, make you feel like you're in some surround sound kind of, you know, wide soundstage. I hated that. It just made the audio sound really thin, and I was not impressed at all, so I just use it in Quiet and in Aware. Also, in terms of noise cancellation, you can't turn it off at all. It's either it's on or it's on transparency. You also can't adjust the strength of the noise canceling, but to me, I don't really care. I either want it all the way up or I want it off. Design-wise, I think they're pretty cool. They're understated, which I like. The ear cup adjustment is smooth, it doesn't click, just like the XM5s, which I think are nice. I like the silver contrasting color to the black. The metal here is a good touch. They kind of give me RoboCop vibes, which I love, as you can tell.
Drop it!
Now where things got real shitty is the multi-point connection. As you can see behind me, I have an M1 MacBook and I have an iPhone. When I had them connected to both, there was a lot of bullshit happening between the two devices. It was nowhere near as seamless as the Sonys are. There was issues where I was playing Spotify on my MacBook and then I went to go walk away and listen on my phone, and I had to go into the app and disconnect from the MacBook to make my iPhone work. Sometimes I'd have to turn off the Bluetooth off of one of the devices to make the other device take over. Most of the time, there was something I had to do to make it switch over. It definitely was not a seamless experience. That alone was enough to turn me off big time with the Bose. Something else that really bummed me out. The noise cancellation is amazing. The transparency is amazing. But for me, with noise canceling on these, I got that cabin pressure feeling. It wasn't super intense, but I definitely felt it and it just kind of annoyed me. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen for all of you, but for me in my head, that was enough to say no. Another thing that I don't really like about these headphones in general is the controls. You have two physical buttons and you have a touch slider for volume. I found the slider for volume to be a little difficult to use because I had to constantly hunt to find it. That's probably something you get used to if you own these and it becomes second nature, but it was pretty annoying for me. For those of you who like physical buttons, I think you'll be pleased with these, but for me, I much prefer the touch controls on my XM5s. Another weird bug that was really annoying for me is when I was listening to these on my MacBook, the play pause function barely worked. Sometimes it would do it, most of the times it wouldn't, and I'm not the only one. There seems to be a few people on Reddit who also have had this problem. So in terms of sound out of the box, like I said, it's really good. I enjoyed it. Now, if you're someone who likes to tweak, there is an EQ in the app, but it's pretty basic. You basically can play with bass, mids, and treble. Even if you crank the bass all the way up, though it doesn't sound muddy, which is impressive, you still never get that nice physical bass if that's something that you're after. But like I said, overall, the sound quality is pretty damn good. So in the end, for me personally, there is no way I'm replacing the XM5s with these. The only thing that these have that is better than the XM5s is the fucking headband. The XM5 thin headband does create a hot spot on my head. However, I've learned if I wear them all the way in the back of my head, I don't get it. The headband on the QC Ultras is much more comfortable, but literally everywhere else in terms of comfort, the XM5 destroys these. So the burning question, should you buy these? No, not in my opinion. Right now, you can get the QC Ultras for, I believe, $380 on Amazon, and I think they were around 400 something when they first came out. And you can get the XM5s for 50 bucks less at $330. And to me, the XM5s are a far superior headphone. I like the design better. The app is way better. The connectivity works a hell of a lot better. And there is literally no reason in hell why I would ever recommend these Bose QC Ultras over the Sony XM5s unless it was comfort. If you're someone who finds the Bose Quiet Comfort more comfortable than the Sony XM5s, then I would absolutely tell you to get the Quiet Comfort and not the XM5s. Comfort is almost everything when it comes to headphones. Now, all the bugs that I've had with the QC Ultra, I'm sure it can all be fixed with a firmware update, but as of right now, they're not fixed and there is no update. So in the end, I am relieved because I spent all that time, like I said, whittling down the list to get my XM5s, and they are still, to me, the champion. And with the XM5, you get 30 hours of battery life versus the 24 hours of battery life on the QC Ultra. So really to me, the XM5 is just a far superior headphone in pretty much every single way. And there you have it. Just wanted to show you a new competitor on the block, the QC Ultra, and why I still think you should get the Sony XM5 or hell, even the Sennheiser Momentum 4s if they're comfortable. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to respond. And it means a lot to me that you guys are coming by and giving me positive feedback and leaving comments. I just want you to know I really appreciate it. And this is a lot of fun for me. So I hope you found value in this video. I hope I could help you. And if you just stumbled upon my channel, check out my other stuff. I tend to review things that I love. The XM5s, I definitely still love, and the QC Ultra, not so much. And until next time, have a good one.